everybody. I got my ass kicked this week. This cold or flu or whatever it is that I got hit with, it was bad. It was really, really bad. And really kind of threw my entire week out of whack. I got sick. I mean, it really hit me Wednesday afternoon, like right before I left work. I left the office at around 5 already feeling terrible, and it just progressively got worse the longer it went along. And it got so bad that I remember waking up in my bed at around 9:30 on Wednesday night, and I was dizzy, I was disoriented. Every time I stood up, I was in pain, so I was like, all right, just stay in bed. It's like, you're in pain either way, but you're better off in bed because it's less painful that way. I was coughing and sneezing. It was just a mess all around. And then I realized, after being awake for a few minutes, wait a minute, how the hell did I get home? I have absolutely no memory of getting home. And I know that sounds like a drunk story, but no, I took NyQuil, and it fucked me up even worse than the cold did, because NyQuil does weird shit to me, man. Like, I start hallucinating, I lose blocks of time, apparently, and I don't know, NyQuil, that stuff is dangerous. Dayquil, on the other hand, that stuff is a lifesaver. It does exactly what it advertises. I love Dayquil, but yeah, I've been a mess the last few days, and I've been putting off this video because of that, because I don't want to be completely terrible. But part of what I wanted to do with this video was preview Elimination Chamber, and since Elimination Chamber is tomorrow night, I guess I gotta do it. No more stalling. So, a couple things I wanted to go over in this video. First of all, I wanted to give my reaction to the Super Bowl. Congratulations to the New England Patriots on your well-earned victory. Atlanta Falcons, you are the biggest choke artists in the history of the Super Bowl. That was horrible. Scott Norwood should never have to hang his head in shame ever again, after what the Seahawks pulled 2 years ago, after what the fuck you guys pulled last Sunday. I was like, man, what is it about the Patriots that just make teams do stupid things? Like, forget the fact that they blew a 25-point lead, which that's inexcusable and dumb. And I've seen the Giants do shit like that all the time, so it's just kind of like, every time I see that, it just enrages me. I mean, I remember that wild card game against the 49ers where, yeah, the refs blew the call at the end, but it's like, yeah, but we were also up 28 points, so it's like, Giants, it's kind of your fault that it came down to a bad call, so I'm not even gonna, like, I'm not even mad at the refs of that. It's like, Giants, you put yourselves in that position. Go fuck yourselves. The game against Philly from 2010, which leading by, 21 points with 8 minutes to go? Couldn't hold on to that? Nope. Sean Jackson ran the punt back? Okay. Okay. That's the thing that happened. The Pasarchek fumble, which happened before I was born, yet I still have a painful memory of it. I don't remember how I got home the other night, but I somehow remember the Pasarchek fumble, even though it happened years before I was born. I don't know how, but hey, that's the pain of being a Giants fan sometimes. But yeah, choking games away, it's like Atlanta. And it's almost the exact same thing that the Seahawks did 2 years ago. Atlanta, you were in field goal range. You were in comfortable field goal range. All you gotta do is run the ball. I would have even considered just taking a knee. Just take 3 knees and then kick the field goal. And granted, I understand there's no guarantee that he's gonna make the kick, but you're up by 8. Short field goal that would have been like an easy one to make, I think. Could have gone up 11 with 3 minutes or so left to go. Make them use up their timeouts. You could have potentially won the game there, but no, you got to be aggressive. So when I saw the situation, I saw that you were throwing out of the shotgun, and I'm like, you're just opening yourself up to sacks and penalties. Oh, wait, what just happened? You got sacked and you got a penalty that pushed you out of field goal range. It's just like, oh my god. And I think right there I was like, Patriots are going to win this damn game, because that's just like the biggest choke away job I think I've ever seen. It was, biggest choke job I've ever seen that wasn't orchestrated by the Giants, but it was bad. It was really bad. Atlanta deserved to lose that game. That was like, look, and some people are complaining about the refs and some of the calls. I mean, it's like, guys, they were leading by 25. and they had a couple of key opportunities to put the game away. The onside kick, which almost worked, because Atlanta clearly wasn't ready for it, so that even almost worked. And New England was smart to do it in that situation, or at least, like, it made sense for them to do it in that situation. It's like, good God, we're down 3 scores. Got to make something happen. Yeah, when I saw them, they recovered the onside kick and even got a penalty off of it, I was like, okay, they need to get, like, 3 off this, and that'll pretty much put the game away. They didn't get 3. It makes me laugh so hard, it's choking me. Atlanta's choking is making me choke. It's just, I couldn't believe it. So, anybody that wants to complain about the refs or anything like that, I say, guys, Atlanta beat themselves. There's no, they snagged defeat from the jaws of victory. They fucked themselves over. They have no one to blame but themselves. But amazing comeback from the Patriots nonetheless, and congratulations to them, even though I hate them. But I will admit that they did deserve to win the game. Anyway, moving on from there, a couple of wrestling related things I wanted to talk about. Earlier today, I got caught up on the New Beginning show from New Japan. I haven't watched the Osaka show yet, but I did watch the Sapporo one. And overall, it was all right. It was solid. The card was kind of ordinary. The coolest thing about the undercard was the inclusion of Suzuki Gun, which I think has already added a lot of freshness to the shows. Because having things like the Killer Elite Squad and Taka Michinoku, which was kind of cool to see him, even though he's looking a little pudgy in the midsection there, but he still looks all right in the ring. Things like that kind of freshened up the undercard a little bit, where it's like, okay, so it's not just Roppongi Vice and Young Bucks for the 900th time. It's not just, just straight up all Bullet Club matches all the way through. It's like, now we've got a bunch of Suzuki Gun matches. I'm like, all right, then these guys we haven't seen in New Japan for a long time, so that kind of freshens things up a little bit. And the one thing on the show I loved, the main event between Okada and Minoru Suzuki was awesome. Very, very good match. With Suzuki just basically dissecting Okada's leg the entire time, and Osaka just trying to find any way he could to kind of beat this vicious, violent, yet wily veteran. So I thought they had a great main event with each other, and I really enjoyed that match. I know that the main event of the Osaka show was Naito versus Elgin for the IWGP IC title. So I'll try and check that out sometime tomorrow, and then hopefully I enjoy that too. So we'll see. I'll have another New Japan show review up for you. What else? Oh, I do want to talk about the main event to Monday Night Raw. Specifically, Samoa Joe, who made his in-ring debut for Monday Night Raw, wrestling and actually defeating Roman Reigns. And I know for a lot of big Samoa Joe fans, especially here on the internet, where there's a lot of Joe support, and there has been for a long time here on the internet. I'm going to be kind of the naysayer, and I'm probably going to catch heat for saying this. The Samoa Joe that I saw on Monday night is not the same Samoa Joe that was so awesome the Joe that I saw at his best existed 10 years and 20 pounds ago. The Joe I saw on Monday Night Raw looked like he was, again, it's the same thing I've been saying about him in NXT. He looks like he's moving at half speed. He doesn't look like the swift and brutal Samoa Joe that I knew in Ring of Honor or in TNA. And when I think back of his best matches from the best years of his career, the trilogy with CM Punk, that stiff ass match he had in Ring of Honor with Kenta, I keep getting them mixed up, Kenta Kobashi or Kenta Kobayashi, whichever one. I'm sure. Tell me down below. I know I'm mixing it up, but all I remember is that match was stiff as fuck and was a lot of fun to watch. The Samoa Joe that had all those matches with AJ and Christopher Daniels and Kurt Angle, and Christian too. I really liked his matches with Christian in TNA. That's not the guy I'm seeing right now, and not the guy that performed on Monday night. He looked like I said, he looked like he was moving at half speed. He looked like he was getting a little winded throughout the match. And just didn't look like the Samoa Joe of old. And I keep making comparisons to Rob Van Dam. When Rob Van Dam had his last run in the WWE, it's like, yeah, he can still do the Rolling Thunder, for example, but he looks like he's doing it at half speed. It doesn't look as good as it used to. And, if you don't find a way to evolve past that, or change yourself, or find some way to, alter yourself, then I'm just going to compare you to what you were, and because you're trying to be what you were 10 years ago, and you're not anymore. And it's just not coming across as favorably. Now, AJ Styles, for example, can still do a lot of amazing things in the ring, but there are some moves that he used to do that he doesn't do anymore. And I don't know if it's because he can't do them anymore, or he doesn't want to take the risk anymore, or whatever. But he doesn't do the spiral tap. He doesn't do that kickoff he used to do in the corner where he would kick off the guy's chest and do a backflip and then come at them with a flying forearm or something. He doesn't do that. The kip up off his back. No, I think I've seen him do that in the WWE. But there's a couple moves that AJ doesn't do anymore, but he's adjusted and changed his character into a more smash mouth personality. So nobody really seems to notice that he doesn't do some of those moves anymore. And AJ Styles has evolved. Samoa Joe is still, like I said, he's still trying to be what he was 10 years ago, except he's not anymore. And that's not, no bueno. No bueno. And, Samoa Joe being in the main event of Monday Night Raw is a big deal, considering the amount of hype that Joe has had, and the fan base that Joe has built for himself. The brand of Samoa Joe that he built outside of the WWE is remarkable. So to have him in the main event of Monday Night Raw is pretty amazing, but it's just unfortunate that that's not the Joe that we're getting right now. And I'm not saying he looked Undertaker bad. I love how Undertaker is my new standard for guys that look terrible in the ring and don't look as good as they used to, but he didn't look anywhere near as bad as Undertaker. But like I said, he didn't look like the Samoa Joe of old. So I don't mean to rain on people's parade, and I don't mean to be a party pooper, but I was a little sad when I saw Samoa Joe. I was like, he doesn't look like the Joe of old. He's just, I don't know, it just doesn't look as good. It just doesn't look as good. And it's a shame, but yeah, that's just how I feel. Maybe I'm just being too nitpicky, who knows. But excuse me. One last thing I did want to talk about in this video. Like I said, Elimination Chamber is happening tomorrow night. It's a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. And I'm going to go ahead and preview it for you. They have the full card lined up. Bunch of women's matches on the show. I think part of that is because the Elimination Chamber match had taken up 6 spots right there. So that really leaves... and SmackDown doesn't have the most full roster anyway. And they have all the whole tag division in one tag team turmoil match. So that right there opens up a lot of spots. So, and I don't mind having 3 women's matches on the show. I think it shows depth within the division. To do stuff like that once in a while. And yeah, let's just go right into the card. I saw that they're doing Dolph Ziggler versus Apollo Crews and Kalisto in a 2-on-1 handicap match, which is really, I don't know, it looks odd. I would have thought that it would have been Ziggler versus Apollo Crews 1-on-1 or something like that. Because I've already seen Ziggler kill Kalisto on SmackDown. But yeah, I mean, if Ziggler beats both of them, I mean, is that the start of somewhat of a monster push for Ziggler? I don't know. We'll see. But we'll see how Ziggler's heel turn evolves past this point. It seems wildly unfair for him to be booked in a match like this, but I guess Ziggler will have to take that up with Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. What else was on this card? We've got Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. Randy Orton being the Royal Rumble winner and now feuding with his fellow Wyatt family brother in Luke Harper. This will be interesting because, like I said in my last video, I think that the WWE title match at WrestleMania is going to be Orton versus Bray. So this is obviously a stepping stone to get to that point where Orton is... going to be more at odds with the Wyatt family, as Bray is probably going to win the title at this show, and then when it becomes official that they're going to face each other in Mania, is Orton going to finally pull away from the Wyatt family, or is Luke Harper going to be the one that pulls away from the Wyatt family? Like, what exactly? How's this going to develop? How's this going to play out? So yeah, I guess that's a fine match to have. It could be a good match. I think both guys are, good enough workers to have a good enough match with each other, so it should be okay. I'm trying to think what else is on this. We have the Tag Team Turmoil match for the Tag Team Championship. American Alpha defending against the Usos, Breezango, the Vaudevillains, the Ascension, and Heath Slater and Rhino. Excuse me. I guess American Alpha retains. I don't see much chance of a title change here unless they finally put the belts on the Usos and finally do some kind of a payoff to American Alpha and the Usos, because I thought they had a good thing going in like the early days of the SmackDown brand when they first did the split. I thought they had something good going, but then they kind of dropped it, and Usos have just been kind of hanging around, and it's kind of a shame, but maybe this will be a way to kind of springboard this into that WrestleMania tag title match that they should have been building up all along, but except they kind of got lost in the shuffle somehow. But tag team turmoil matches are fun. I do enjoy these, so I expect this to be fun and enjoyable. Then we've got, I believe, I think it's the 3 women's matches after this, right? It's we've got Naomi versus Alexa Bliss for the title, which Alexa Bliss better retain. I mean, she's just, I see no reason to take the belt off of her at this point. Nikki Bella versus Natalya, which has a storyline and a feud going into it. Should be okay. I expect Nikki Bella to go over. And we have Mickie James versus Becky Lynch, which could be really good. Might even be the sleeper hit of the show. I would probably give it to Becky and then probably set up Becky versus Alexa at WrestleMania, or maybe Becky versus Alexa versus Mickie at WrestleMania in a 3-way. Find some way to kind of transition into that match. So it'll be interesting, but I think that match could be really good. And then our main event is the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE title. John Cena defending against AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, Intercontinental Champion The Miz, Dean Ambrose, and Bray Wyatt. I've already made my prediction. Bray Wyatt's probably going to win the title here. It's a shame that they had to make Bray Wyatt look like shit and just kind of devalue him and then put the belt on him, but them's the breaks. That's what we're working with as far as booking goes here. So for all the Bray Wyatt fans out there, you should be very happy. I don't know what that sound was, but you all should be very happy right now because he's probably going to win the title. So huzzah. Honestly, I'm at a point where anything that keeps us away from Cena versus Orton, I'm completely okay with. Anything you got to do to get away from that match at WrestleMania, I'm fully in favor of it. Let's just do it and make sure that it doesn't happen. So that's the card for Elimination Chamber. Not the most spectacular card, but SmackDown doesn't have the most spectacular roster right now. So I don't know if that brand is fully capable of supporting like a full-fledged pay-per-view at this point. So, but it still manages to be the better show overall most of the time. I think part of that is because, excuse me, like I said, Raw's 3 hours and just gets overexposed, and SmackDown, they're just kind of chilling and doing their thing and at least try to make something out of nothing. I mean, they made James Ellsworth into one of the biggest parts of the show, for better or worse. It's like they take what little they have to work with and just try to make magic out of it. So I think SmackDown tries harder, I guess, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that's Elimination Chamber. I'm going to be checking out the show tomorrow night. Hopefully it'll be good, and I'll have nice things to say about it when I ultimately do my review. And I believe after that, like almost immediately after Elimination Chamber, we've got Fastlane, because WWE does way too many goddamn pay-per-views. Fastlane will be, that one is the Raw exclusive pay-per-view. And right now we have Goldberg versus Kevin Owens for the Universal title, which Goldberg is almost assuredly going to win. It's one of those, like, if Goldberg doesn't win, I'll eat my foot. I'm so certain that Goldberg's going to win the title here, because even if they, like, do something where Lesnar screws Goldberg out of the title, I'm like, That doesn't make any sense, because wouldn't Lesnar want his match with Goldberg at WrestleMania, which it's already been made official, right? Wouldn't he want that match to be for the Universal title? So it's like, yeah, you'd think he'd try to help Goldberg win, if anything else. But, yeah, so I'm pretty sure Goldberg's going to win the Universal title. We're getting Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. I'm hoping because I don't think they want to have Roman lose to him. But I'm hoping they protect Braun, which they've done a pretty good job of doing up to this point. So it's like, if you got to do a DQ here, do a DQ. But whatever you got to do, just don't feed Strowman to Roman with a straight up victory. Please don't do that, because that would be horrible. But it's like, I think they can get a lot more mileage out of Strowman as a big monster heel. But yeah, and I think, wasn't there a third match? Oh, yeah, my boy, Jack Gallagher, is getting a Cruiserweight title shot against Neville. Probably not going to win, but that's going to be a fun match. And actually, the 5-way contenders match on 205 Live this week, I thought was really, really good. Probably the best match in 205 Live history since the show started. So I was really happy with that match. And, of course, I just love Jack Gallagher. So it's like, I could watch that dude all day. And so I'm going to enjoy this match. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but I'm not counting on a title change here. But I'll have more to say about Fastlane as we get closer to the show, which it might even be next Sunday. Is it next Sunday? I don't know. These pay-per-views are just one on top of the other. It's friggin' crazy. We just had the Royal Rumble. My God, there's too many shows. Stop it. But anyway, that is all I have for this video. Thank you all for listening. Hopefully you all can understand me. I know I'm sick as a dog right now. My voice doesn't sound too great, but I am feeling a lot better than I did a couple nights ago, so that's a good thing. But like I said, that's all I have for you now, and hopefully you all enjoy Elimination Chamber tomorrow night, and y'all have a good one.